obviously to prepare what we need in our pantry, to get all the groceries ready, because all of this is so important in us in order to sustain us so we can make the best out of our fast, inshallah. We do need the energy. Certain foods are sunnah as well, and it's time for us to really heighten our awareness and also make some great choices. And with that, we're going to be talking about suhoor. That is the pre-dawn meal during Ramadan, which plays a very crucial role in sustaining our energy and hydration throughout the fasting day. So choosing the right foods will actually help to support the overall well-being and to help us to make healthier choices for suhoor. We are joined now live on Facebook and YouTube. Do hop on and join us with Sister Faaizah Laher, who is a dietitian and nutritionist. She is also a dynamic registered dietitian and nutritionist at Netcare Garden City Hospital in Johannesburg, and as a media spokesperson for the ADSA and founder of Dietitian Eats, she empowers families, individuals, and women with practical tools and delicious recipes for balanced, nutrient-dense diets. So let's chat with her and find out more. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Faaizah, and welcome to Urban Women this morning.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for having me on the show this morning.
It's an absolute pleasure. You know, sometimes we think, how can I make this Ramadan different? How can I eat better? How can I be healthier? How can I feel more energized? But we're just not sure how. And that's why we get experts like you on the show to guide us. Now, we know suhoor is so important, but can you share with us what is the impact of having suhoor on our energy levels throughout the day?
So suhoor is so essential because it sets the foundation for the fasting day ahead. A well-balanced suhoor will provide you sustained energy throughout the day, enough hydration, and also help you to stabilize your blood sugar levels. So a balanced meal helps regulate our blood sugars and prevents extreme dips that cause sluggishness and irritability. So skipping suhoor can actually lead to you feeling very low in energy or tired, difficulty concentrating, and also feeling very, very thirsty, making your fasting day much more challenging.
Absolutely. And I think many of us can remember that, especially now that we're thinking the day's a bit longer. It's a bit warmer, but alhamdulillah, we're not yet in the summer. But I think every year that's going to be going by, it's going to be getting closer to the hotter days. What are some of the best types of foods to include in a nutritious suhoor in order to sustain energy and to prevent dehydration that you just mentioned?
So what we're looking for is balance, and we want a balanced and effective suhoor which has a little bit of everything. So it should have a carbohydrate, a little bit of a protein, healthy fats, a hydrating food, and also something like an electrolyte-rich drink. So what are we thinking of in terms of carbohydrates? So this could be something like oats, or whole wheat bread, maybe rice from yesterday. It could even be a roti, or it could even be a whole grain cereal, which you would add onto your protein source. So if we had oats as our carb, our yogurt or our milk will be our protein. If your bread was your carbohydrate source, you can add eggs on there. You could do cottage cheese or even a nut butter. So that's your protein. And then a fat. So fats are really important because they aid in long-lasting energy and brain function. Think of avocados, nuts, seeds, a little bit of olive oil, and then your hydrating foods is your fruits or your yogurt on the side to just help to maintain your hydration levels. Because remember, at suhoor, we can't really drink a lot, but we can have something to eat that's going to contribute to those hydration levels. And then an electrolyte-rich drink, it doesn't have to be something expensive or from a sachet. It can be something simple like coconut water, milk, or even a herbal tea, maybe sweetened with a little bit of sugar or a sweetener, will help to prevent dehydration and balance your fluids. So you really just want a little bit of everything. There's no one food that's going to give us everything. But if you prep in advance and you plan from the day ahead or the week ahead, you know exactly, Saturday morning, this is what I'm eating, Sunday, Monday. And so you sort of like, that anxiety is taken away because you know exactly what you're going to be eating.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. As you said, prep in advance, know what you're going to be eating. I think it just helps you to have such a smoother Ramadan and helps you then to have that energy that we need in order to make the most ibadat, inshallah. As we know, days just fly. Before we know it, we'll be saying Ramadan Mubarak, Eid Mubarak. So let's make the best of it. Now, you touched on hydration. We also know that people do feel sluggish. What about that? Are there any specific foods that you can advise on that we could probably bring into our suhoor with regards to that to sustain the energy levels?
Definitely. So, watermelon, cucumber, dates, yogurt, soups are all hydrating, and those are all different types of foods that will help us to hydrate, but it's food at the same time. So, it's sort of giving us a little bit of both. You
Mm-hmm.
could do a smoothie as well, really quick. And what I mean in terms of prep is you don't need to prep your whole week in advance. Just think of the previous day. Think,
Mm-hmm.
plan ahead for the next day that's coming up. So while you're preparing either your supper, which would be either Thursday or Friday, or you're going to be prepping maybe next week, just when you're doing your iftar, think, okay, what are we doing for Sehri tomorrow? Let me just quickly do my preps. If it's overnight oats, do it in a bowl. If it's your yogurt, if it's your oats, get it cooked. Are you going to do eggs? Do you want to crack those eggs? Or what are you going to do? So when you wake
Yes.
up in the morning, you do feel tired, maybe a little bit of a headache in that first week, but you know
Mm-hmm.
what you're going to do. You prepared and you planned. Because, a lot of us have children and they all wake up wanting something different. So if they know what they're eating, it makes it so much easier for the moms because you know exactly what you're going to be cooking or blending or serving on that morning.
Oh, I feel for moms, that have all those kids with the different taste buds and need different things during suhoor. Anyways, that's absolutely wonderful. Nice one you touched on. Now, Sister Faiza, there's certain people, or shall I say, we all have certain misconceptions about suhoor or when choosing foods for suhoor. How can we avoid these kind of things?
Okay, so you basically just want to avoid anything that's very salty, very sweet, or fried.
All right.
Why? Because salty foods, remember when foods are digested, they are absorbed in our digestive system and it goes into our bloodstream. And
Mm-hmm.
these molecules, either sodium or glucose, the body somehow needs to dilute it or get rid of it in somehow. And salty
Mm-hmm.
foods tend to make us very thirsty. Okay,
True.
so avoid foods that are very salty. Then you want to avoid items that are very sugary for the same reason. They either raise your blood glucose and give you a slump, or they cause you to feel extra thirsty. And then fried foods distend the stomach. And because fried foods usually don't have a lot of nutrients, this is a
Mm.
nutrient poor food. And when it's digested very slowly, it means that it keeps the stomach distended for a longer period of time. And this is when we don't have enough nutrients getting absorbed, enough glucose and amino acids. And this is when we feel tired and lethargic. And that's how the fatty and fried foods, cause us to feel very tired and fatigued and things like that. So not to say we can't have our, fried foods or our savories that we really like, but just
Yeah.
decrease the amount or don't have them every day. Try in between the days in between, try and have something a little bit more leaner or more balanced, just so that you have a little bit of everything. You don't feel deprived.
Yeah, I like that because there was a Ramadan that I thought no savories this Ramadan really didn't work for me. So I think, as you said, don't cut it out, but let's have a nice balance. Now, Sister Faiza, let's be honest. There's many women that have really hectic schedules and they don't have time to actually prepare, a full meal, so to say. What are some of the quick yet nutritious suhoor options that we can actually take cognizance of?
So if you want some quick options, something like that can stay in the fridge overnight. So your overnight oats with chia seeds, nuts, and fruit. You can do frozen fruit. It doesn't have to be fresh. So frozen berries from the freezer, just warm it on the stove, throw it into the oats, and you can do these in little pots, or if you're a big family, in a large container, and everyone can serve that by themselves on the table at Seri. You can
Mhm.
also take this whole overnight bowl and blend it into a smoothie, especially for the younger ones who are, they come down tired and they need to eat, but they can't chew. So blend it up and serve it in a glass, make it runny with enough milk, because remember, milk is one of our sunnat foods. It's got protein and carbs. And here they can just drink it quickly and brush their teeth and get back to bed. And then something else that works quite well is boiled eggs with whole wheat toast, with maybe either a spread like avocado mashed with cottage cheese, or just cottage cheese, just like that, high in protein. It's got the healthy, it's got those slow digesting carbohydrates. So that's what we're going to get from those boiled eggs. Then we spoke about a smoothie as well already, but we could also do a whole wheat wrap with scrambled eggs and maybe a little bit of veg in there. If we had leftover vegetables from the day before, 2 scrambled eggs quickly in a wrap, and that's quite quick to do. Or you could do yesterday's leftovers. So I know a lot of people like rice in Ramadan. That's a great option. Pair it with maybe some chicken breast or chicken that's broken up already. Have a small veg portion if you have something in the fridge. And that's also a really easy meal to do at suhoor. If you are quick enough, and if you are prepared enough, you could do a toasted sandwich. So make the sandwiches the day before in the fridge, the next morning into the toaster, and that's quick and easy to do. But a lot of people like a cereal, and
Yeah.
that is easy. It's cereal, it's milk,
Yeah.
maybe some berries, or maybe a banana chopped in, and that's also a great option because it's quick. So prep your table the day ahead, put the cereal containers on, and let them have their cereal in the morning. And what we're looking for cereal is a whole grain cereal. So something like an All Bran or a muesli or special cake, because those are our slow digesting cereals.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for all that wonderful advice that we definitely need to know before Ramadan. I mean, just a few days to go. What is your take-home message for our Urban Women listeners this morning?
So I said, oh, there's so many things you need to do, and you're probably thinking this woman is crazy. Just take one fact that we spoke about, and try and implement that. You don't have to change over your entire Ramadan in order for it to be perfect. And Ramadan is really just about nourishing your body and maintaining that spiritual discipline. And a well-planned sehri is really just the key to staying energized, hydrated, and focused throughout the day. So, include some hydrating foods, balance your nutrients out, and just be mindful when you eat and enjoy that Ramadan. That's what it's there for. It goes so quickly. And if we stress about the eating or what we're eating or what we're not eating, it's over before we know it. And that's quite sad.
Absolutely. Let's make the best of it. Let's energize our bodies correctly, as Faaizah has shared with us. Very beautiful advice. We thank you for your time this morning, and we wish you and your family a blessed Ramadan, inshallah. May Allah Azza wa Jalla accept all your ibadat until we connect again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. And that was Sister Faaizah Laher, who is a dietitian and nutritionist. And in Johannesburg, as you can hear, she and I seem to have been matching even in our hijab. Subhanallah. So sharing